Right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Community Matters and Town Assets Committee meeting. We are Wednesday, 24th of September, somehow, at 7:30. Just matter of course, our normal fire safety and building evacuation. I think everybody in the room at the moment knows the route, but just for the record, there is no fire alarms which are due, so if it does sound, it would be real. We will exit via the doors behind us, or if that's blocked, the doors behind me, and rally over to the car park where the meeting point is, where we'll hold a little box exercise, make sure none of us are left behind. Okay, so item number 2, which is our apologies for absence. I think we are a full house apart from Mike, who is online with us. And Paul, who's away, yes, but not on the, do we need to take? Yeah. Okay, no worries. Welcome, Mike. Yep, so no need to accept any apologies there. It would, well, unless we have to formally accept Mike's physical apology.
Yeah, and Paul's as well, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I can propose that. I'll just second, and that is us all in favour, Jenny? Yeah, excellent. Okay, declaration of councillors' interest. Sorry, would you?
Sorry, just before we go any further, I just wanted to point out we're still referring to you as chairman.
Yes, I know. It's just mentioned the chairman's update and the chairman's welcome. I was going to make just a small sort of note to Sharon outside of the meeting, but yeah, no. Okay, thank you, Roger. We were going to remove chairman and just universally use chair for all of the. Let's not go to chairs again. But yeah, universally, we were going to adopt the terminology of chair across all of the committees, not necessarily just because I'm here in that sense. So, thank you, Roger. Item number 3, declaration of the councillors' interests and any requests for dispensation. I don't believe that there are any, but we'll do a quick round.
None that I'm aware of.
None I'm aware of.
None I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of.
And ditto for me as well, Steve. Okay, thank you. Right, we have got a few to rattle through on item number 4, which is the Chair's update report. The first one is a letter of thanks that we've had from Great Western Ambulance Charity for the grant award for £2,200. I believe that there's also a letter on their charities board up in the shop as well for all to see. But yeah, a note of thanks which was received from them, which is fantastic. We hope to be able to continue supporting them. I guess for as long as we wish to as a council, so that's good. Yin and yang, road car parking charges. So these are going to be taking effect from the 1st of October. I know all of the residents have had the letter in terms of how they're able to claim the permit there. So that's the annual £60 permit. I think it's probably just wise just to sort of note really, I guess, in terms of what we've got there. So the charges are applicable from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. It's £1 for an hour, £1.50 for 2 hours, £2.50 for 3 hours, £3.50 all day. Just in case anybody was unaware of what the charges were that were coming in. The permits that are being issued, as I said, £60 for the year for 1 permit per household on Roath Road for those houses that have no other facilities to park. But yeah, I'm sure everybody in the vicinity is well aware of the changes coming in, and yeah, just watch this space really, I guess, in terms of any changes to that coming forward. There is a few items on here in regards, I'll do them in order, but a lot of carriageway improvements and patching going on within the area of Portishead for the next sort of month or two, really, I guess. So we've got carriageway patching works on Down Road, and that's from the junction of Charlcombe Rise down to the junction of Nor Road. So that's going to be closed for approximately 2 days on the 29th of September. I'm not sure whether it was a copy and paste on the the road planning sort of thing, but we've got 3 significant works that are all starting on the 29th of September. I'll come to the others at the end of this update here. So next is 4.4, and that's the Great North Somerset Bat Project, which is live. So this is all about bat conservation in conjunction with the University of Bath, and it's all about bats being a sort of biodiversity indicator, really, I guess, in terms of the area. But also, it's relatively important because it feeds into the North Somerset planning and housing and where places are going to be built across the course of the next 10 years as well. There's a link here which at the end we'll put on our communication update as well, I think. But it's a case of going and indicating a particular area that you want to survey, but it's all done electronically. So you register, you get a device, you download the device, you pass the information back. So it's not necessarily the same as a bird survey where you're sat at your back ticking boxes. It's a little bit more electronic than that, but yeah, the project itself is looking for sort of areas of North Somerset to be nominated for your patch, and then you can follow the instructions and see whether you can get involved. Next update was 4.5, which is the North Somerset Council's public right-of-way team. Now, I did have a look on this, Steve, and I can't find actually how we... It says that they want to understand a little bit more about groups feeding in, monitoring and promoting public rights-of-way, but that we just need to double-check how they want us to get in touch. So we'll update that.
Anyone like spiders?
I don't mind spiders.
I'm not picking it up, but I will stand on it.
Oh,
We got some.
pick him up.
Where is that car?
He's down on the floor.
It's a water.
He's a fairly large one.
Stick him out. Use the chair.
That's one of those Bordeno ones.
Revelation project.
Well, let's just say that I'm not a fan of spiders. I'm quite happy to dispatch them, but not to pick them up. But I didn't want to just tread on it because I know that some people don't like them.
He's moved in next door.
Thank you, Chair.
No problem at all.
But look, now that was my chair.
Yeah, I picked him up and took him out with me. Okay. 4.6 we were up to. So the school application. So this is just a notice to say that applications can now be made online. It's for the school year starting September 2026. So the 2026-27 intake. And that's for children born between the 1st of September 2021 and the 31st of August 2022, which doesn't feel that long ago, actually, does it really? But there we go. Janet.
How are you going to get North Somerset to connect with, this is the previous one, with
Yeah.
walking groups?
We don't know. So that's the point that I just made, Steve. We'll find out in terms of how we can route that information, because there's no, I did have a look on their website earlier during last week as well, but I can't see any particular news or anything related to any event that they're...
Well, Claire has got a lot of information about that.
Okay.
And also Youth and Community Centre have got a lot of walking groups that start there.
Yeah. And the health walking group and everything else. So we'll see exactly what it is that they're looking for information on, but then we can disseminate that through our sort of networks and partnerships as well. 4.7, these were changes which were implemented to the Westlink service on the 1st of September. So they are already sort of nearly 3 weeks in now, but worth noting, I think fundamentally, well, if you know necessarily, but I think most of the updates were better interconnections between some of the parishes and towns, and then connections into bus routes, so people can use the Westlink to get to a bus route, and then the bus route taking them on to
Yes, it was well received by the public. Our bus group have been monitoring it. There's a few hiccups, but I think it will iron itself out eventually.
Hopefully, I mean that was the aim, wasn't it? Really, I guess, to get it a little bit more interconnected and people able to use it a bit better as well. So. Next one is the North Somerset Children's Centre, which have been rebranded to Family Hub North Somerset. So these are hubs where families with children that have special needs or disabilities can get help. There is a email there, just in case there's anybody that's got any questions in regards to the family hubs. So that's family.hub@northsomerset.gov.uk. But I'm sure we can put that on our website as well.
Will it still house the health visitors and babies stuff and
No,
goodness knows what?
I didn't see any other changes to it other than a rebranding. So there might be, but
Okay,
we can summarise.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find out. Really.
Yeah, or confirm that there's no other changes to the structure of the department or anything else. So. Next update is one of our own. So that's our drop-in centres. So these 3 dates now take us up until the end of the year, actually. So yeah, wishing away again. So we are in Parish Wharf this coming Friday. That's 3 till 5. Saturday, the 11th of October, will be the precinct. Saturday, the 8th of November, will be the farmers market, and then Friday, the 19th of December. In the foyer of the library. 4.10 is a draft for our road closure for the Remembrance Day parade, which is happening on the 9th of November. So the usual road closures that we've got there. So the High Street between Croom Road and Church Road South, Stoke Road, Church Road South and Church Road North. There's been an emergency road closure in Slade Road. I'm sure everybody's sort of been or seen it, or at least been affected with it, and that was Bristol Water. So that's a leak in service pipe there. So the road is going to be closed for up to 3 weeks. So it's been closed 9 days already. So another couple of days left on that. And then 4.12, and I'll add another add another one to that as well. So we've got the asphalt preservation road treatment, and again that's happening on the 29th of September to the 1st of October. That's between 7 o'clock in the evening and 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's going to be a closure from Wyndham Way right the way down and past Cab Stand. So that's a significant sort of route into the town. But prior to actually getting into town, you need to try and get into town, because the Portbury Hundreds is also shut for that duration as well. But that's a longer period. So that's the 29th of September to the 18th of October. That will be shut between 2100, so 9 o'clock in the evening, and 5 o'clock in the morning. Probably more significant because the diversion route of that is right the way back up, and literally right the way back up Leekport, right the way around Tickenham and back again. So yeah, quite a significant thing, a diversion route in place for that. Bob.
Sorry, yeah, I know we're not mentioning yet, but obviously about information going.
Sorry, I've just tried to stop my phone.
Sorry, yeah, with the I know it's a bit early, but with the information of that's going on the Portishead site, obviously we have a lot of roadwork closures and alterations. That includes, as I understand, Clevedon. So that will affect us as well. So I think Clevedon Road on the Clevedon end is also having roadworks done. So again, I think we need to implement that as well, because obviously people are going to be travelling through Portishead to Clevedon.
Yeah, the works on Clevedon Road, where it's been blocked off for the last God knows how many weeks now, are going to light controlled this week, I think. So this week, I think it's in the next couple of days. So as soon as I heard that they were going to be closing the Portbury Hundreds, I thought, oh my God, there's going to be no way out. So I raised it, and they confirmed that they were definitely going to ensure that was going light control, because it's It's also been extended for a few more weeks as well. So that's going through to November now, the Clevedon one, I think. But it does mean that people will be able to just go down the motorway to Clevedon and come back into Portishead that way. The requirement to drive all the way around Clevedon that you've got at the moment won't be there. So small mercies, I think.
No, indeed. As I said, it's a bit of a crescendo, and I think it's definitely one of the points that we'll come to make sure that we've got everything in the summary, because as I said, they're all kind of happening in and around the same dates. So, okay.
It sounds as if we actually ought to be under siege.
Yeah. Well,
getting water and food and just stay here.
yeah, no, and the inflatable canoe prices will be going up, that's for sure. Okay, so item number 5, minutes of the previous meeting. We only had one amend, didn't we, which was the total, which is the total grant award for Wellspring. But yeah, I think everything is all good at that. Has everybody else had a chance to be able to review that? Yeah, all good. So I can, yeah. Move forward, and Roger again, and we are all in favour, and I shall sign those later. Oh, Mike.
Yeah, I was looking actually through the minutes of the July meeting, and there was actually a mistake made in the attendees. The hall manager was put down as Mike Johnson, I think. So my name was being changed. Yes.
Yeah.
It might just need an end.
Okay. Well,
Congratulations on your appointment.
okay, thanks, Mike. We'll have a look at that. Yeah, wasn't one. What passed me by that one? Sorry. Number 6, public participation. I know we've got Mike online. We haven't got any actual members of the public in here this evening, aside from our 2 council attendees. So I think we can move forward from that one. And also item number 7, which is our static slot now for any reports from external organisations, clubs or community groups, but there's no specific updates to report on that one either. Fetches us through to number 8, which is our grant application. So we've got 2 to have a look at this week, and I think apart from John, the rest of us are from the grants party here anyway. So Martha's Kitchen, which is the first one, 8.1. So this is for us to consider a grant application of £850 to support the cost of weekly SEND sessions during school holidays for family and children who have additional needs. So the funds for this are going to be providing free nutritious meals in a welcoming environment. It's actually hosted in the Portishead Youth and Community Centre by Martha's Kitchen volunteers there. Our grants working party recommended that the grant of 850 was awarded, but over to committee if you've got any questions or queries. No, all good. Excellent. Can we take a vote then? So I can propose if somebody wants to second, but we got Bob in second. So, and are we all in favour? Yeah, that's a unanimous.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so the next one, which was for Wellspring Counselling, and as we said, we had the update in terms of the work that Wellspring are doing in our previous Community Matters meeting last month. So we had a grant application which was for £8,750 from Wellspring. So that was support the cost of the counselling service, which is delivered in Portishead, actually in PMG at the moment, where they're receiving sort of free preview space there. So this is to ensure that residents of Portishead have access to mental health support. So, excuse me, so the grants working party convened. We there was a number of questions really, I guess, that we were posing to try and find out if there was sort of the facilities really, I guess, that we've got left in the reducing grant pot that we've got. So our recommendation from the Grants Working Party was that we would award a proportion of that. It by no means reduces the work that Wellspring are intending to do in the community for the next year or so. It more or less brings us in line with what other the pat would it's still exceeding what some of the other parishes in and around are supporting Wellspring counselling services to do as well. But our recommendation, due to our restricted small grants pot, was that we award £2,500 to Wellspring so they can continue doing the work that they do, for the residents of Portishead here. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions in terms of our sort of decision or rationale that came from the Grants Working Party.
Can I just ask, did we consult with Wellspring Counselling on that, and did they raise any issues or problems that this reduction would bring forward?
No. And we, as usual, really, I guess, from our due diligence, we checked their, financial circumstances and also try to sort of address any questions that we had in terms of that delivery and the provision. Everything was sort of answered positively from the counselling service in that sense, and they said it wouldn't necessarily it wouldn't deflect from any of the services that they're actually providing.
Excellent, thank you very much.
No, so I can make the proposal again for the award of 2,000. Marion and second, and if we could take a vote on that. No, but I just you're just here. So all unanimous carried. Thank you. Okay, item number 9 is our report from Claire, so signposting and referrals officer. So we had a reduced number of days that we're able to deliver the service during August. It's a period of sick and work from home, and obviously I think the numbers might have been slightly impacted given it was August in terms of the people that we were able to see during that period as well. I think specifically you'll probably see in the report if you've got it there. There was a couple of days when there was either very low numbers or no numbers at certain of the locations which Claire was servicing, but I wasn't necessarily sure whether that was because she wasn't there on those particular days because of sick or working from home. But I think go on, Janet.
I spoke to Claire yesterday, and even though there were only 2 days when she was here in this room on the Fridays, she still saw 29 people.
Yeah. They were
And that's just for 2 days, because she was unavailable the rest of the time. But she did tell me that the majority of people that she sees now are here, and fewer in the library and the Beacon Hub, and we really do need to start rethinking about what she does on other days.
That's why I was kind of looking at where and what. I think there was only one in the youth centre as well, so I think the best use of
the youth centre have stopped offering the mother and baby groups which she used to go to, and so that is no longer something that she covers. So we need to. So
that's the Tuesday breakfast club. But there's another 2 different sessions which have come off the back of that not happening. So perhaps we can just speak with him
and talk to him and
work out
Claire and
what opportunities
and Sharon and Roger and Steve, and see if we can.
See if there's others, and obviously the one which Martha's Kitchen are going to be running as well. That will be that might be
if it's one of her days, that would be fabulous.
I think probably a bit of a refresh, as I said. Her time and efforts served here are showing fruition. So,
but I can also add that the sessions in here on Fridays are hugely well attended, and they are really rushed off their feet in the mornings, and they still have quite a few people in the afternoons, and it's remarkably successful. There's usually a second CANS person, a citizens advice person, and very often we have a DWP specialist who can immediately sort out their benefits and do a benefits check with them, with people if they need it. And that very often is a drop-in, which is something that was never offered before. So it's been immensely successful, and I'm so pleased that we've done it.
Yeah. The space here is offering it's offering just opportunities, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. It's really working.
Yeah, no, great. Okay, so item number 10 are the CCTV reports.
Do we have to vote?
No. It's only it's only a review to note. So, yeah. CCTV reports. So I don't know if any of us have necessarily pored over all of the information that we've got or that is available, but I think it's good, really, I guess, to see what is available. So I think we will be able to publish this now going forward as well, Steve, won't we? That we get it in this format and in this detail. You've got the incidents, the actions, and where as well. So at least we've got these which are now being, well, they always have been sort of fed into the police anyway, in terms of sort of heat mapping and any triggers in that sense, but also I think it's valuable for us to be able to see that as well. Is there any comment to it, Roger?
Just to say, I mean, it's good. It's good to see the CCTV report and to understand the number of incidents that take place and are reported through that, and you know, whether or not they get further action is sometimes a bit debatable. But it's good to see that the CCTV is in operation and doing its job. I wonder if we can put some of the simpler figures, because it's a very complex report that's available. Some of the simpler figures out there, like the number of incidents caught on CCTV and the numbers followed up and things like that, because I think that would be really important for the public to see and quite interesting for a number of people.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably something that's already available, and we've asked for the detail obviously behind it, but I would have thought that via a dashboard of sorts which they've got, it would be available. So
it would be good if we could put something like that on social media, because one of the issues that I see on social media all the time is people are saying, well, why didn't the CCTV pick that up? I think it would be reputationally good to say that they are actually picking up quite a few issues.
Yeah. No worries. Thanks, Janet. Okay, so as I said, nothing to vote on there, just to note the report for July. So the next one is item number 11, Northwestern Memorial Bench, which is the one held in the name of Councillor Gordon Green. So a request has been received from a local resident to add further plaques to the bench in memory of two well-known respected residents of Northwestern who have sadly passed. I don't know whether it's if we've got the further report in terms of, I don't think we have for this, not that we necessarily need to, but it's just the consideration, I guess, which is in terms of what we need to cover here. But has anybody got any questions to?
Only to say that if we are going to put some additional plaques on the bench, could we use the town orderly to go and check that it's in good condition and do any repairs necessary at the same time?
Yeah, I think that would be what we would have done anyway, but yeah, we'll make sure that that's noted. So yeah, I don't think we need to vote on this, Steve, do we? It's just a recommendation to note.
No, I think if you could approve that one, that would be.
Yep. Okay.
Approved, yes, please.
Okay, no problem. So David.
We asked for any maintenance benches and going forwards with devolution, maybe we'd be responsible for a whole load of benches, to having a kind of separate grant line that covers their maintenance
And yeah.
funds.
There's still man hours to associate to it, isn't there, in that sense and whatever. But yeah, I would have thought that would be sensible, really, I guess, given how many that we might end up with. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I can make the proposal for this. We've got a.
Can I ask? Was the bench originally bought by Gordon Green's family, and do they know that further plaques are going to be added to it?
So, as I understand it, it was actually a bequeathed bench. So it might have been, but I think it is now under our care. So yeah, but there's various plaques on there. So I think it's been used for that purpose, if that makes sense. So yeah, so these were sort of further plaques to be added to it, rather than actually something that is a new something or other that's happening. Yeah, Marianne, and yeah, is that an okay from everybody? Bob, is that an okay for you as well? Yeah. Okay, so that's unanimous as well, Steve. Okay, so this item number 12, which might be the one that we have a little bit more feedback from the councillors on. So this is our North Somerset Council consultation. So this is the Community Governance Review Consultation Part 2. Every 10 to 15 years, principal councils are legally required to carry out community governance review, which is this CRG. The review looks at the electoral arrangements of its parishes to make sure that they reflect the local communities and work effectively. The community governance review can then make several changes where there's clear evidence to do so, and that could include creating, merging or abolishing parishes, changing to parish boundaries, renaming parishes or grouping parishes under a common parish council. Changes to the electoral arrangements include the number of parish councillors and wards, which include ward boundaries, names, and the number of councillors to be elected to each ward. So it's an individual consultation in that sense. The council will have a view as well that it can put forward. The consultation itself closes on the 31st of October. And it's under the you'll have your view section of the North Somerset Council Community Governance and general consultation page as well. So in effect, you can visit that site, so you can put in your own suggestions and comments as well. Now I know we have we've discussed this ourselves as individuals. Too, in terms of what we've got and where we've got them. I think as a parish council, pro rata of the demographic of our population in that sense that we've got here, I think we've got more residents per rata in terms of each of the council numbers, and given where we are with prospective developments, or indeed where we've got because it hasn't changed for the last 10 to 15 years, we've certainly got a lower numbers of councillors in certain wards than we really would want, although collectively we don't tend to stick to our wards. We tend to have any resident that requires us to do so anyway as a council. But yeah, I guess throwing it open to the floor if anybody's got any comments or anything to add to that. As I said, we just all be recommended and encouraged to put our consultation. I know Mike will probably have his hand up, so yeah, I'm going to come to you now, Mike. So Mike, over to you.
Part of this is clarification, part of it's comment. I thought we debated all this previously, and that we agreed a submission to go in. We achieved a consensus of 14 up to 15 councillors. I think we agreed to suggest that Moorgate be included, but I'm open to correction. So, and then when I read the attachment, the report, on page 5, 1.6, it says it recommends 14 to 18 councillors, and it says this is based on 2 resident and 1 parish councillor response. So my point of clarification is that 1 parish councillor, or is that the response of Portishead Town Council, or has the Portishead Town Council response not gone in or not been noted? So there's some points of clarification. And my view is, apart from what my personal views are, unless we're going to re-debate the whole thing again, which seems a bit unnecessary, is really we ought to be standing by what we've already agreed as a consensus, unless something has significantly changed. It feels like repeating ourselves. So I'm happy to have the debate if there's a need for a debate. So there's some sort of points of clarification there. I don't know if anybody can answer those.
Mike, do you want to come up to the mic?
Mike, the mic.
Mike's the mic.
So yes, in answer to your question, Mike, there was a submission made, which I put in some weeks ago now, which correctly you indicate did go up from 14 to 15. We felt that it was 1 additional ward councillor in the North Ward, and that boundary changes did indeed include Moorgate from the Portbury boundary. And I think that was accepted. And we also suggested that the Portishead Ecology Park be included in our boundary, but I don't think that was accepted. Yes, you're correct in also stating that the recommended allocation was 18 councillors, but I think the conclusion we all came to was that 1 additional councillor was sufficient. And that would be allocated to North Ward, where further development might indeed be ongoing in the next 10 to 15 years. And of course, the changing demographic, the changing council come 2027 could be that district and town councillors change a little bit, because at the moment, of course, North is only represented with 2 individuals, East 6, West 7, and South 3. But I felt that the conclusion we all came to, having had the discussion before, was that we work together well as a team, that we have a good officer base in the council, and that it functions well. Emma, you mentioned in terms of the numbers in proportion to the population. Yes, we are pro rata about 1,893 to be exact per councillor, as opposed to Nailsea, which is only 800. Because Nailsea has a population of 16,000 with 20 councillors. Clevedon has 21 councillors for 21,000, and we're about 26,500 with 14 of us.
And sorry, Mark, I was going to say, our consultation submission in that sense is it's taken as advisory, isn't it? It's not that we've got any jurisdiction over the ultimate decision in terms of how it's made. So although we feel that this is the best, given that we're feet on the ground in that sense, it's our submission and everybody else's submission in terms of if anybody has individually got anything different to say, is unfortunately sort of a just advisory.
I believe that's correct, yes. I think in terms of the ward boundaries, I think those are being assessed by another commission, and I think that will be towards the end of the year that the ward boundary submissions will be made.
Yeah, Mike, you want to come back in?
So I still want to clarify the point where it says the 14 to 18 was based on 2 resident submissions and 1 parish councillor. So is the 1 parish councillor one of us, whoever, or is it the global response we put in through Mike? Because I would argue that if that's the case, we need to put in 14 responses if it's being counted as one. Or have they not noted it?
That was news to me, Mike. I don't know the answer to that one.
So don't we need to clarify that, or we need to all submit the same thing 14 times, because it gives a totally unbalanced impression?
Yeah, Chair, I suggest what's happened is that because the submission was emailed in by Mike, they've assumed it was Mike's submission. But so I will go back to them and make sure they're aware that the submission that you made was a Portishead Town Council submission.
Which I thought I'd probably
You
have
probably
done.
did make clear, but they've, the way they do these things.
No,
probably.
good point.
Okay. Mike, anything further to add?
No, I mean, I'm trying to avoid redebating the whole thing. I'm quite, because it seems a bit unnecessary, but I'm happy to. I just think it gives it a very distorted impression if it's not noted that they've had a response, the consensus response, from 14 existing councillors Portishead, because it doesn't then make any sense, because it reads as if, it just doesn't read balanced, does it? And I suppose the only thing is, because this is the response, do we have to respond again? Do we have to reassert our response or not?
Okay, we will.
Well, as a consequence of this meeting, certainly that can be done, yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Thanks, Mike. And thank you, Mike. Mariam.
Just for clarification as well, I think there's 2 South Ward councillors, and there's one more to be added to South Ward to make it 3. So I think the numbers you've mentioned are the numbers that we are asking for. So it's not currently 7, but we're hoping for 7 in, I think, North Ward, West Ward. So I think there's a total of 2 extra we've recommended.
No, it was only the one.
So
one additional to North.
Who's the 3rd South Ward councillor?
Pete Burden.
District.
Yeah, I know, but I'm collectively bringing them in together because there are 3 representatives on South Ward currently, whereas on North there are only the 2 because Tim's double-hatted.
And we're 7 because of Sue in West.
Oh, okay, so we're counting them.
Yeah.
And is that the recommendation we've mentioned in our submission?
But we have 1 additional member joining North.
Yeah, for parish town. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering whether they maybe misunderstood that and have added extra ones in the districts as normal town councillors.
Not sure. Don't know how they operate down there.
Okay, but we'll indeed make sure that it's the submission which we have made is recommended that it's collective. Yep.
Can I suggest, Emma, that when the resubmission is made, that we collectively make sure that they know it's from town council, and I'll talk to Steve and go through it with him.
Yeah. If it's necessary for us to all sign the letter or whatever we need to do, then we can make sure that we can do that. And as you said, it doesn't prevent any of us from submitting our own sort of via the consultation form anyway, open till the 31st October. Roger.
Yeah. So the recommendation is to consider and respond to the consultation, which we've already done, but they've published their updated view, haven't they? Which still shows us as having being recommended for more councillors than we are happy to take on. I guess the first thing is that we must remember this is every 10 to 15 years, it says here, which means that whatever we decide here, we and the future councils that come after us have to live with for a while. So there may be room for change in that. We may not wish to, whatever. I think that the really important thing here is that we're very, very clear that that whatever we want to do, that is on the town council, and separate out any figures for the district councillors which could cause some issues in the figures. We might end up with more town councillors than we'd bargained for if we conflate those figures together. We don't have two. We have three, don't we? We have two town council and one district, and the fact that Tim is a double hatter doesn't reduce the number of places that we have on the town council. It's still there. So I think it's really important that we just don't conflate those figures together and come out with something that might confuse the poor people that have to make the decision at the end of the day, and make sure that they really know what our views are. I think I've said it before. I'm not that precious about it. I could live with another one or two. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Equally, I think if we had no more, that would be an issue. We have illnesses, don't we? People are off sick and everything else. Sometimes the more the merrier. But the 20 odd, that feels too many, definitely. Oh, let's not talk about Clevedon, but it never works very well in Clevedon. But to be fair, Nailsea have got a lot of councillors, and I think Long Ashton have as well, and Weston, and they all work quite well with far more councillors than we have. It's only Clevedon, but I'll say that quickly.
If you're working for the town and not necessarily for anything else, then I would imagine that it is probably more amicable.
Do they still have a lot of vacancies in Clevedon?
No, I think they filled most of the vacancies in Clevedon. However, Clevedon seems to be renowned for an awful lot of co-options, probably because they can't get enough people to stand. But unfortunately, the commission that does this won't take into account the fact that you can't get people to stand. For them, that's not a good enough reason to not have a councillor's position. So, if we want to make that argument, we've lost it.
Okay, right, back to Portishead. The recommendation to consider and respond to the consultation. Obviously, as a council, we have put our recommendation forward, but as you said, the consultation is open until the 31st of October for anybody to sort of add to that feedback. Okay, so item number 13, which is our communication plan for items following this meeting. So the two that I had on there was regarding the school intake and the road closures, as sort of a consolidated list of everything that's coming up in that. Bob, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think it would be good for us to mention Road and the car parking charges, just to give some detail to the public. So rather than have a load of people kicking off that they've got to pay £2 or £6 or whatever. Yep. Bat conservation. I'm lucky to have bats in our garden, so I shall be jumping on that. But I think it's good because we seem to be only aware of it when planning applications come up in certain areas. So I think that'd be a great one. Roadworks, if you've remembered, and Remembrance Day, just to give a highlight of what day the Remembrance Day parade will be on. And just to remind people that just because you've got a 2024 badge doesn't mean that you can't go and buy a 2025 badge.
Indeed. So, Janet.
I was only going to say what I said earlier. CCTV reports.
Summary.
Just a brief summary of those to go out. On our website, maybe on social media. If we can feed that into the comms group to do that, that would be great, because I think it's a really good bit of info to have out there.
Yeah, sure. Janet.
Same.
Okay, that's fine. One thing I was going to suggest, just to be able to kind of consolidate and have a space holder, was both mics got their hands. Okay, no worries. Okay. Just to have a space for consultations. So if there's anything, because we get consultations probably through this committee, through planning, through anything that we need to fetch up in full town council, perhaps we have just a holder somewhere where we've got available consultations, so people are not having to spread far and wide to search around. So anything that comes through any of our committees, we can potentially consolidate somewhere. Yeah, Mike, over to you.
Yeah, I just think for the public record / information that we should say that we have responded to that consultation and we've suggested the numbers be increased from 14 to 15 and that Moorgate be transferred from the Portbury to Portishead.
Yep. No, good point. And Janet.
I wanted to ask if the consultation on the local plan, including the possible building in Portishead, is yet under consultation. I thought it was coming out about now.
Have not heard. Don't know if you know, Roger.
I've seen a draft report, which I believe I got yesterday, which is coming to Cabinet before it goes out to the full section. Is it section 19 consultation? Something like that. Anyway, whichever one it is, I've seen a report. I think it was yesterday, and yes, it will be coming soon. But I think it's next month.
Okay, because I've seen that they've had one in Backwell and they've also had several in Fayland over the last 2 weeks.
Sorry, is that planning applications turned down for speculative outside of the plan, or is that changes to the draft plan?
Consultations with the public.
I think that they've had a couple of planning permissions, speculative planning permissions, which weren't in the draft plan come forward, which I think have been turned down at planning. So it may have been to do with that. It may not be the same consultation as this, which, as I say, I don't think is coming out until next month, which is about a week away-ish.
One for next month's agenda, no doubt. David, did I see you with your hand up? No, okay. No worries at all. Okay, so that's quite a little list of our communication plans items. As long as I think I'll do my list with your list, Steve. Just make sure we don't miss anything out. Okay, so we've got date of next meeting, which is Wednesday, the 22nd of October. Same time, same place. And now on to item number 15, which is the exclusion of the press and public and press, sorry, under the Public Bodies Admission to Meeting Act 1960. Members of the public and press required to leave the meeting. Item 16, due to the matter being commercially sensitive. Contractors, Section 11 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989. So recommendation to agree to exclude the public and press. I can put that B, and yeah, we got Martin, and that is that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're fine. We need the input in a second because of it. So that's all in favour. That's all in favour. Okay, we will bring the meeting to a close. It is 2023 for the public, and we will move on to confidential items.